Hello, welcome to yet another wrestling channel. My name is Rich, and every now and again I like to do one of these videos where I just talk about some thoughts that I'm having based on something that's happened in the news. And today I want to talk about the possibility of The Rock being a part of WrestleMania this year. So people have been clamouring for one last match from The Rock for quite a while now. It was WrestleMania 31 where he had that segment with Ronda Rousey and Triple H, and that was supposed to be kind of leading to something the following year, which never transpired. And obviously Triple H versus The Rock is very unlikely to happen now, with Triple H hanging his boots up at WrestleMania last year. So it's been quite a while that people have been kind of clamouring for one last sort of big WrestleMania match from The Rock. And personally, I could give or take it either way. I was always more of a Stone Cold guy growing up, but it would be cool to see The Rock in one kind of big final match. Plus, there is a reason why I think this match with Roman could be really beneficial going forward, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, last year there was a lot of talk about possibly The Rock versus Roman, and obviously nothing came of it. I always felt like, and you can call me naive for thinking this, maybe, but from the first time I heard the phrases tribal chief and head of the table, I took it as we were supposed to think in the back of our minds, yeah, you might be the head of the table, but what about The Rock? You know, it kind of felt like a nickname that you were meant to think about in that way. Now, I could have been overthinking that, but ever since those names came along for Roman, that's kind of been in the back of my mind when I think of the tribal chief and the head of the table. But why I think that match at WrestleMania could be quite useful is it seems like they're looking to separate those world titles again. And so you've got two main champions now, because you've kind of been pigeonholed into just having the one for quite a while. And they've done that with the tag titles. It's a lot easier to do that with the tag belts because they're named the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. You can just start defending one on one brand, one on the other. But it feels a bit harder with the WWE and Universal titles. So one thing that you could do at WrestleMania, and this is probably what I would do if I was in control, which clearly I'm not, is I would have The Rock win that match, and then on the next night on Raw, he would stand in the ring and he would say, look, I wanted to win, I wanted to beat Roman. I can't commit to defending these belts. And he hands them back to Adam Pearce or an authority figure. And from there you can do what you want. You can separate them, or you can carry on in the course that you're on now. Or you could just have Roman defend one of those belts against The Rock, so that if he loses, he's still got the other belt. Either of those are a way of separating those titles, and then you can move on from there. So that's kind of why I think that match kind of, if possible, should happen, and how I think it should go. Now, this week has put a lot of doubt in that. So tomorrow, at the time I'm recording this, it's Sunday night. Tomorrow is the Raw is 30 special, and everything I'm about to say now could completely be dated after Raw on Monday. So forgive me if all of this is nonsense by Tuesday. But last week on Raw they advertised, forgive me if I get the name wrong, but some kind of like acknowledgement ceremony involving all the bloodline, acknowledging Roman, and they hinted that other members of the family might be there. And your mind immediately jumps to like Rikishi, but it also obviously makes people think of The Rock, and I know I'm not the only person to have thought that. His name came up immediately when I heard that on Raw. They've kind of altered it now, because I mean I noticed this last night. I don't know how quickly they changed it, but they stopped advertising that segment, and it's now being advertised as the trial of Sami Zayn. I haven't seen SmackDown, so I assume it's to do with something that happened on SmackDown. And that is a bit of a curveball, and my theory is maybe The Rock wasn't supposed to be part of that segment on Monday, but because people like me just automatically expected it, or predicted it I should say, they thought we're going to have to change this because it's messing with people's expectations, and sometimes the fans can get something in their head so much that when it doesn't happen it's a letdown. I think about the Royal Rumble that everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to win, and he never even entered it. And poor Rey Mysterio took an absolute pelting from the fans that night, just because he's not Daniel Bryan, and because he happened to be number 30, and there was now no chance of that happening. So I wonder if they changed the segment just to swerve everybody away from thinking that was going to happen. But also, later this coming week is the Royal Rumble. And it might not be out of the realm of possibility that he might be a surprise. I mean, it was reported somewhere, I forget where exactly I read this from, but WWE apparently are very happy with the surprises that they have in store for the Rumble match. It might have been no DQ where I saw that, I could be wrong though. And so that tells you that they've got something big planned, or it implies that they have. So that could well be The Rock. But the other curveball was a couple of days ago, at the time of me recording this, the news that The Rock himself is saying that he's not in good enough shape, or he doesn't think he can get in good enough shape by WrestleMania. And that sounded a bit weird, for lack of a better term off the top of my head, for two reasons. Number one, this match was rumoured for over a year, so as many people commented, you've had plenty of time. And number two, dude's in better shape now than when he was an active wrestler. It's, a huge part of the branding of Dwayne Johnson, like the Hollywood star, is that he's probably one of the most in good shape guys in all of Hollywood. And I know I've worded that really poorly, but you know what I'm saying. It's him and it's the Marvel blokes. They're in super good shape all the time. There's even, I don't know how true this is, but the claim that every film set he works on, his gym is transported to his movie set, so that he can get his clanging and banging in. So the idea that that guy doesn't think he can get ready by WrestleMania in January, it just seemed like a bit of an odd statement to make, and so that statement kind of felt like them trying to kind of swerve us away from thinking it'll happen, and then they'll just do something like that, and one day, If You Smell will play in the arena, and out will walk The Rock, and the build will begin. I just wonder how much they're trying to sort of keep us away from assuming that that's going to happen. And then if it does, brilliant. If it doesn't, we never promised you that it would, So yeah, those are just some thoughts I had on this whole thing. For all I know, after Raw on Monday or the Royal Rumble, this could have aged really poorly. But what do you think? Do you think the match will happen? Who do you think will win it? Do you think there's anything valid in what I just said? Any of the theories I've put forward? So I'd love to hear from you. I always read the comments. And yeah, that's it. Once again, thank you for watching, and good night.